want to give you guys a good understanding and some tools under your belt so that you can go out there and really capture your own business data for local SEO. And then we'll talk about an action plan, about just a couple steps that you can take away right when we're finished the webinar in order to go and make some progress. So let's talk about definitions first. What is local search? And how do we compare that to the traditional search that we've seen in the past? So I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of some Google rankings for a variety of things. This particular screenshot here, you'll see that I did a search on Google for paper suppliers. Now, I was kind of hoping that Dunder Mifflin would come up, but I'm not close enough to Scranton, Pennsylvania, so I'll get some local results here. And this is really the direction over the last couple years that Google is headed, is they really want to be a personalized search result provider that is personalizing your search based on your sphere, whether it's your social networks or whether it's your friend networks or whatever, but also related to your location. Because we've seen a huge trend in people searching for information based on their area. So you'll see here the breakdown of search page results. You'll see the top section, which I've highlighted in green. That's those premium paid spots, that pay-per-click advertising, which of course is a great way to guarantee some traffic, but there is a big amount of cost there. The second area there, which I've highlighted in orange, is that local search. And that's really the area that we want to be focusing on today in this webinar. What is actually local search and how does it compare? The area below is the organic search. That's your traditional search results that aren't necessarily localized, but that just have received rankings over time on a national level. Now, you may be wondering, but many of you probably already know, is why is this local search applicable when I'm doing a search at my location? Well, you know obviously that if you're searching for restaurants or hair salons or dog groomers or pet stores or real estate companies or really whatever, the items that are the most applicable are ones that would be close to your location. Now, because technology has advanced, you'll see in this screenshot, this is actually a mobile version of the search results looking for that same paper supply. And you'll notice at the top that it has Google wants to know your computer's location. And with the advent of GPS and the proliferation of smartphones and devices that have location type data, it allows Google to pinpoint your results based on where you are. Now, they don't necessarily have to use GPS searches, although that's probably the most accurate. Google actually utilizes a couple technologies. One you'll see here is that GPS satellite orbiting around the Earth. There's like 24 to 30 GPSs, and it allows you to really get a 10-meter pinpoint on your location to really fine-tune those results. But Google has been very creative over the last couple years where they've learned to do cell phone tower triangulation, which you'll see here in this other graphic, where it will actually see what cell towers that you're between and get a good estimate of your location to provide you the closest results. And then everybody's favorite, we like to go to Starbucks, enjoy some free Wi-Fi. Over the last couple years, Google has actually partnered with some other companies in order to gather some data about what is the actual store locations of these Wi-Fi networks, and then they've mapped them out. So that even if you're not in GPS, even if you're not using a cell phone, based on your IP address or your Wi-Fi network, they can find out your location and provide you results. So the question is, why does local search matter to me as a real estate broker or as a real estate agent? Well, it really does matter a lot, because this is really where your potential consumers are. This is where your prospects are searching. Let's look at some of the trends. This is some insights that have been provided by Google, some studies that they do on an ongoing basis. Usually they put these out either half-yearly, bi-yearly, or every quarter. And you'll see here from these results that the smartphone usage, not just regular phone, not just GPS phone, but actually smartphone, which really has the highest percentage of traffic, web traffic being going on. 44% of the United States is using smartphones, and that's a pretty high percentage, and that's growing. It's probably even higher now. You'll see that there's been a shift from regular feature phones to smartphones, not only in the US, but a lot of other countries. And this allows the search engines to be able to use that technology on those smartphones in order to provide more granular results. Now, this is a really interesting statistic that I just found. This is brand new. This is the fourth quarter of 2012. And you'll see here, comparing fourth quarter of 2011 to fourth quarter to 2012, there's a significant difference in website traffic percentages that are coming from mobile devices. So what we're seeing is we're seeing more people just use their mobile devices for the web instead of just typically using their desktop or their PCs or their Macs. So because of this shift, you're going to see even a greater amount of people that are doing searches strictly on their mobile devices, and you want to be found by those consumers. So that's what we're here to help you out with today when we talk here about local SEO. So here's a couple stats. 73% of online activity is related to local content. That's pretty big. Yes, there are big national brands, and there are even challenges in the real estate industry for you competing in organic results with some large brands. Some examples would be like Realtor.com and Zillow and Trulia, where they could be good providers of potential advertising and leads, etc. But there is a drawback. There is some competition that they take away from the brokerage on a local level. And that's hard to compete with in the organic results. The advantage that you have as a brokerage is that you are local. So by providing a local address and information for your search results, Google can actually place you in that local search area where the national people will not necessarily rank because they don't have that local presence. 74% of internet users perform local searches. I would say that that's probably even more so now since this statistic came out. And of that, 82% of the local searchers follow up offline via in-store visit, phone call, or purchase. People do want to interact with someone locally. There's a personality. You guys are not just in the real estate business. You're not just in the house business. You are in the relationship and the people business. And that's why location is so important, because it's that personal touch and connection that you can have with the professionals that you work with. This is another charting tool that Google has provided called Our Mobile Planet, and allows you to kind of do some analysis on, how the frequency of people are doing a variety of different searches, whether it's mobile, per country. It's a really neat tool. And you'll see here from 2011 to 2012, the frequency of people looking for local information on smartphones is increasing. I think even since this statistic, it has gone up even more. So it is very important for you as a real estate broker or a real estate agent to be found in local results, because that's where people are looking. And we're going to talk about how do you actually get a hold of that. How do you take your real estate business, which we know is a local industry, and get it locally online? Let's talk a little bit about what affects your local search rankings. As you know, Google is full of very, very smart, intelligent people. Gone are the days of trying to game the system. No longer can you try to stuff a bunch of keywords in some pages in order to be able to rank properly. You have to provide valuable, viral, conversational content to your users. Content that they're willing to share, that they're willing to engage you in. Content that's natural and appropriate for your location. Now, this particular webinar isn't really about blogging or talking about, building that type of, content and how you do that. Really talking about some of the structures around local search and what you need to do in order to capitalize on your business location data for local search. But it's important to think about those things in this conversation. So let's look at a couple different things that do affect local search. And this is just some of the top things that some SEO professionals have gathered over the last year. And I really feel that these are some important factors that Google uses. You'll see physical address in the city of search. So when we're talking about real estate, if we're looking for a home in Dallas, so we're looking for Dallas homes for sale, and your particular business is based in Fort Worth, which is a city very close to Dallas, it's actually going to be very hard for you to rank for local results in Dallas because of your actual business location. We'll talk about that more in a second. Proper category association. We're going to talk about using a Google Plus local and categorizing your business so that when the local search results come up, that you are found. Proximity of your business, your address, to the center of the city. the domain authority of your website that you want to rank in those local results, and the quantity of structured citations. And we'll talk about citations in a second, get more into details about that. But let's go through each of these one by one. So physical address in a city. When I'm searching on my phone for a restaurant, obviously I want something that's close, something that's quality. So we're talking about location, we're talking about reviews. Those types of things affect the ranking. Well, it's very important for you and your business to know that your own town location is going to be your highest concentration of local search results. So if you're based in Fort Worth, your target market is Fort Worth real estate, Fort Worth homes, Fort Worth condominiums, Fort Worth school district listings. Those are the types of things that you should be gearing your efforts towards. If you go after Dallas, you may get some results, but there are going to be challenges. Let's actually take a look at an example. My friend John up in Norwalk, Iowa, we had a conversation not too long ago about wanting to rank for Des Moines, Iowa real estate. Now John's office, really great people by the way, they're located just outside of Des Moines in Norwalk, Iowa. Now he ranks actually particularly well for Norwalk, Iowa real estate with his website. You'll see that there is a local result here based on that search, but in a variety of different ones as well. Norwalk, Iowa real estate. You'll also see Norwalk, Iowa homes for sale, and you'll see he's right up there at the top. Even when you look at searches on Google Maps, that's another thing. Since Google is wanting to go towards location results for everything, using Google Maps, using Apple Maps, using MapQuest and other mapping systems, that type of data is very important because people, consumers, your potential clients, your prospects, are actually using maps in order to find you. So it's important for this local data to be ready and available for Google and others so they can display your information right on the map. You'll see if I'm in a Google map and doing a search for Norwalk, Iowa real estate agent, you'll see that my friend John here with the Exit Realty North Star, he's coming up first, right below the paid spots. So right there in those local results, he's achieving great local results. Unfortunately, because he's right outside of Des Moines, it is much harder for him to rank locally for Des Moines searches. You'll see Des Moines, Iowa real estate agent. There's a lot more competition because his office is just south. You'll see there's little tiny dots there in Norwalk, and that's where he is. So that is a challenge. So you really have to ask yourself, if you want to gear your business towards a specific location, is it worth having an office location in that area? And I would say it's definitely something to consider because of the fact of location search being so prevalent with mobile usage. Now, I don't want to say that there's no opportunity for going outside of your location because as you can see here, there are some searches that are happening for Des Moines, Iowa real estate that is actually getting to John's site, and I think that's great. It's probably more some organic, the non-local SEO things that he's working on, like creating blog posts and tying in the listing data that we pull from the MLS with those blog posts or pages. Those non-location-based thing, but they do fall under the search of the location, the city, Des Moines, Iowa. Let's talk about the next thing, proper category associations. In Google Plus Local, used to be called Google Places, but it really is a kind of a business directory. Google really wants to own directory listings for businesses. Obviously, that data is important to them, and people are searching with their map applications, and they can sell more advertising that way. So they've really gone out of their way in order of the last few years to build out their Google Places so that your business can categorize yourself under real estate agency, real estate agents, homes for sale, home builder, those types of things. A big recommendation, and this is one of the takeaway points that we'll talk about at the end with the action, is every single brokerage needs to be registering their business on Google Plus Local. If you don't already have a Google Plus personal page, I'd recommend go ahead and sign up for Google Plus. Get your name, get your photo, get your everything in there. I know that Google Plus maybe hasn't been as prevalent as, let's say, Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, but it is a very important local SEO tool. So personally, you need to be in Google Plus, and as a business, you need to be registering your business and putting in the categories that you serve. They do even provide some options for listing your business hours, obviously engaging with your audience through posting your articles or your blogs or your content or your listings or whatever, really engaging. But also talking about your service area, where you can actually define in Google Plus Local the areas that you serve, kind of as an indicator, a key, so that Google knows where your business is actually doing business, not just at your own physical location. Now, many of the listings for businesses have really already been automatically created by Google. So if you go into Google Plus Local, which, by the way, you'll find it on the left-hand side once you go into Google Plus, down towards the bottom, it's that little local icon there. Looks like a pin. You might find your business that's already there that Google just did from other data scraping that they've done. But if it gives you that option right there that says, is this your business, manage this page, it will actually allow you to claim that directory listing. Now, Google does go through a process where they'll even send you some physical mail with a verification code, because they don't just want any business to claim any business listing. They want accurate data, and that's important to them, and it really should be important to you as well. So there is probably a week-long process of them sending you verification information so that you can go back in there and claim that listing as your own, so that you have administrative rights to be able to update that with your categories, confirm the location, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute as well, and then be able to interact with your audience through Google Local. The third search factor that we want to talk about is the proximity of the address to the centroid. Now, what's that word centroid? Well, it's kind of like the average or the center of a particular circumference or surroundings around a city. So really that city center. Now, how do you find out what that city center is? Well, if you go on Google Maps and you just type in your location, let's say it's Baltimore, Maryland, and you want to find out where that center of that city is, it will actually just come up. That pin will place right in the centroid. One of the ranking factors is how close is your business to that centroid. Now, that is probably more important if someone is on a device that it doesn't have that granular location, like it's not GPS or Google doesn't know exactly where you are on your mobile device. Because if you're searching real estate agents in Baltimore, it's going to rank the factor based on that centroid higher than around the edges of the city. Now, Google, as you know, does change their algorithm over time. So I do believe there's a trend towards leveling the playing field with people that are not quite as close to the centroid, but still within the entire city bounds. So we'll see that thing change, and you just kind of have to go with it, but realize that this is a ranking factor, the distance or the proximity to the center of the city that's in the search. Fourth is domain authority. This doesn't necessarily have to do with the location of your business, but it is still a ranking factor. Domain authority, what is that? What are you talking about, domain authority? I hear page authority, I hear domain authority. What is all that? Well, SEOmos, which is probably the premier SEO technology or software firm, they're based in Seattle, they have defined their domain authority as a calculated metric for how well a given domain is likely to rank in Google.com's search results. So how do they figure out what that domain authority is? Well, the reality is you can't really know exactly what Google's domain authority is for your particular company's domain. But there are some indicators that go into this. There's hundreds and hundreds of factors that are used. But the number and the types of links that are going to your domain, that affect your domain authority. The quality of those links really has a big factor to play in that as well. In the past, you might have heard the term black hat SEO strategies, where people are trying to game the system in regards to bumping up their domain authority, their rankings, their search engine placement, by placing low quality links on hundreds or hundreds of thousands of various low quality websites. And those types of links really no longer help you. It's actually a detriment. Google is now giving you a tool where you can disavow links, where if your link appears on some website that it doesn't see as quality, you can actually disavow that link and say that that wasn't me. So the types of links, as well as the number, the quantity of links to your domain, definitely make a difference in your domain authority. Now, the difference between the domain authority and a page authority is it really encompasses your entire domain. So www.myrealestateinThisArea.com, that's your entire domain. All the pages surrounding that equal your domain authority. Page authority is different because it's on a per page basis, and you can have a great ranking on one particular page for some content that you created, and then another doesn't do so well. But with this particular thing with local SEO, domain authority as a whole for your company is very important in your ranking factors. The age of the site. We have clients that we sign up every month, and some have a website previously and they just want to switch over to a better platform where they can expound on their SEO and build a better strategy long term. And the fact that they had a domain previously actually is helpful, because the age of a site affects your domain authority. How long has that domain been registered? Have you actually had content on that site for a long period of time? And of course, that does affect your ability to, over time, build more links back to your domain. So the age of the site is important for domain authority. The size and the amount of the content on your site. It's important not to have too shallow of content, but the content that you do have is quality content. So don't just put in fluff that doesn't mean anything. Write content, create content on your site that matters, that's shareable, that's likable, that starts conversations with your potential clients or your past clients. That's really the type of content that you need to be putting into your domain so that you can build your domain authority. And then 5, quantity of structured citations. Now, what is that, a structured citation? Well, really, a citation is simply this. It's a name, an address, and your phone number. So my name is ABC Realty. My address is 123 Main Street, Johnson City, New York, 13790. And my phone number, so on and so on. That is my citation. The important thing about local SEO and citation is there needs to be quality, accuracy, and having all of your citations have the exact same format. For example, if I decide that my citation that I'm going to put on my website, that I'm going to put on Google Plus Local, that I'm going to put everywhere else online, is 123 Main Street, I need to decide, is it 123 Main ST, or is it 123 Main STREET? That spelled out version is important. You want to have a consistency with your citations that Google finds around the internet. See, Google is harvesting a lot of data from a lot of places, whether it's from super pages or from Yelp or from Yellow Pages or other bits of data that they have from a variety of places. The consistency factor is a very important thing. Now, this citation, we call it short NAP, name, address, and phone number. And we'll be referring to it as NAP for many, many years to come because it's just easy and it's easily to remember. So remember, have your NAPs consistent. You don't want them to be all over the place. You want them to be the same so that Google is adding to the credibility of your domain authority because of the fact that it sees your business being cited in a lot of different areas consistently the same. So there are a lot of other search factors that are going to affect your local rankings. Don't have enough time to talk about all of them, but I created a link to a listing of probably 100 to 150 different rankings. These were just the top 5 in that category, and these are well known. But there's a lot of other things like social interactions and page quality and all these different types of things that will affect your local rankings. And if it's worth your time, feel free to go bit.ly and then local rankings 2012. Brings you to a really nice report talking about all these different things. So let's talk about this. What type of tools can you use starting today, this week, in order to help boost your local SEO? Well, let's talk about it. First, I know we already mentioned Google Plus Local. I really can't stress enough how important it is not only to have a Google page for your business, but to have a Google local listing. Obviously, that's the definitive information that Google is going to use for your address. And your NAP on your website needs to match exact to the NAP that you're putting into Google Local. So spend time, look at your website, make sure that it's formatted the way that you want it, and then when you go to your Google Local and sign up, make sure it's exactly the same. The next tool is the authorship tool. Google allows you to link your personal Google Plus page, not your business Plus page, but your personal Plus page, to the content on your website. Let's say I write an article. Let's say it's about Johnson City, New York, downtown listing rehabilitation. And I want this article to appear in local rankings for people that are searching for rehab properties. I can actually go into my own profile and say my website is a place where I put my content. And I can tie my authorship of my own Google Plus personal page to that blog article. Now, what are the advantages of that? Well, for one, you'll see here where it says make your content feel personal. We, again, are in a people business. We're not in just a homes business or a buildings business or a real estate business. We're in the business of people. And when we're talking about people, we need to have a personality. And having your face appear next to the search results right inside Google is a huge plus for click-through rate. What does that mean? CTR, click-through rate. The likelihood of in those results, which could be 10 on a page, 20, and then obviously there's multiple pages in search results, what's the likelihood of a consumer that sees my content they're ranking that is going to click through to my site? Obviously, I want to increase the click-through rates as much as humanly possible. So tying the authorship of your Google Plus personal page to your blog articles, to your website, to the content that you create is a great way in order to drive engagement. And of course, it's going to help your local listings because Google does like verified content. If you're putting your name and your face to a piece of content, it's not necessarily horrible quality. Now, not necessarily great quality either, depending on how much time that we're spending on creating good quality. But there's that personal factor that we're able to engage with our users better. So definitely something that you guys want to even do today is go out, get your Google Plus personal page, tie it to your website content. Now within our Onjax system, we make it really easy. When the agents log in, they go into their profile, under their social media settings, and put in their Google Plus account. It's extremely simple. Once that's done and Google picks up on that, next time that you're in trying to see your authorship, it'll ask you, sign up for your authorship, just like you see here. And it'll ask you for your email address so that it can confirm who actually that you are and make sure that you're not trying to hijack someone else's content. When you do that also in our system, and I know there's other platforms as well that do this, it ties your Google Plus to the HTML or the structure of your page. So Google can see that right away and pick up the fact that you're tying your authorship to that particular article. Rich snippets. What is a rich snippet? Well, Google does a very good job at gathering data, organizing that data, sorting it out, and then obviously displaying it back to the user based on what they're searching for. But to help them would still be beneficial. Even if they could automate everything and categorize everything, to help them out a little bit, give them some structured information about who you are on your site is helpful because it helps them to categorize it quicker, faster, and more accurately. Rich snippets is a way where we can categorize our code, our HTML of our page, our content. We can basically tag it with some terms or some words that will help Google to be able to sort that in the proper places. Some examples of rich snippet content would be things like local businesses. We're going to talk about tying our NAP, our citation, into a rich snippet. It could be events. It could be reviews. Reviews are very, very popular and very important to rankings, both for local SEO as well as just organic in general. It could be various things going on in the community, other organizations or people. And if we tie this data into the content of our site, either automated or when we create our content, we do it manually, it just helps Google to be able to categorize that and then hopefully return results back to your site. I remember a couple years ago, I was reading a blog article by a guy a real estate agent down in Arizona, Phoenix area. And he was writing content just about local events that were happening. Specifically, the one I was looking at was fireworks, fireworks for 2012 in the Phoenix area. And he gained so much traffic from that content because people do search for those not necessarily real estate related things, but they're community related things. And as a real estate agent or a broker, we really are about serving our community, about being involved, knowing what's happening, why someone would want to purchase in this particular area or this particular area because of the community around it. It's not just about the structure or the building, but it's about the neighborhood. It's about the people. It's about the lifestyle. So using your site as a forum for sharing content, curating content, putting it together so that your users can find it is a great way to be able to drive more local traffic to your site. And using rich snippets just helps Google to be able to index that content better so that they can rank you higher. Over the last couple of years, the search engines, Google, Bing, Yahoo, have decided to come up with a standardized format for creating rich snippets, whether it's around your address or around your events or whatever. You'll see here, this is schema.org, and that's their website. They've decided to put all the code, all the necessary tags that we talked about here, all in one place so people can understand how do we tag our content properly. You'll see here that I pulled up the real estate agent, which is a subset of local business, which is a subset of organization, which is a subset of things. So it's really a categorized way for the search engines to be able to save this information. If we take these tags, this schema, and they call them item scopes or item properties, and we put that into our websites, it allows them to index these in local results. Now our platform, Onjax, we do this automatically for you. It doesn't require you to do any work on your own. We do the work for you. It's kind of why we do what we do. And we put all the real estate related tags to all of your agents, to all of your offices, to your company, so that Google can find you. Again, it is very important that there's consistency with your NAP. You want to make sure that it's going to follow the same way on your website as it does on the social media networks. After you create rich snippets or you set up your NAP, your citations, Google has a tool for checking that structured data and seeing how you're actually doing. Did you do it right? Did you do the did you set up the authorship correctly? Because authorship is part of a rich snippet as well. So here's an example where I just plugged in a blog post by one of our clients in Forest Hills, New York, and just wanted to see how it would rank here. And you'll see that it does actually have the structured data. The authorship, though, is not verified, and that would be a step that would be very important to do. Even though the tag is there in the code of the page, still the authorship needs to be completed. And also, if we scroll down here, we'll see the item property for the company name. And you'll see here the schema.org. If you look right in the middle of the page here, schema.org real estate agent. And that's really that code that tells Google, okay, this is a real estate agency, and that's what I'm going to categorize it. So when people are searching locally on their mobile device or their desktop. For a real estate agent in Forest Hills, Exit Kingdom Realty does come up. You guys can try it yourself. I do it all the time with a variety of our clients. It's just a great way to help Google out so that they know who you are and why you are. This is a fantastic tool, getlisted.org. We talk a lot about NAP. We talk about these citations. We talk about making sure that we're putting our address and citations in the right places. Getlisted.org is a free tool where you can go and plug in your business name and your zip code, and it will tell you, do you have your citation properly registered in a variety of different places. Here's a screenshot. A client of ours, Highland Realty Group, they're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amish country, and I just plugged in their name and I plugged in their zip code, and this is what come up. It said they have a listing score of 74%. That means in some places online they have their listing, but you'll notice a lot of them, like even Google, Bing, Yelp, Foursquare, those are very important places to have your citation because it adds the credibility of your brand being a local business, not just some national firm trying to game the SEO game, but actually someone ready to serve customers. And Google really wants the quality of results that they're sharing with consumers to be something that's going to be helpful to consumers. So passing those results on to a local person, a local agent, a local brokerage is very important to them. This is a great takeaway. Getlisted.org. Every single broker should be going to this site, checking out what listings that they have missed and what they still need to fill in. WhiteSpark. This is another system that's similar to GetListed, but I think more in detail. It is actually a paid tool where you can put in your business and you can search for a variety of different places where you can add additional citations. Again, the consistency is very important, so you want to keep your NAP the same. But WhiteSpark is a system that allows you to do it very easily. Their product will search around online regularly and will find places where your citation should be so that you can gain links back to your site and just have your business directory listing. This is a great tool as well. SEOmos, I mentioned them earlier when I was defining domain authority. SEOmos is really the authority in SEO. In the industry, they just really know their stuff. They build a variety of different tools. Many of them are, paid tools, but it allows you to analyze the SEO quality of your site on your site, as well as the things that you're doing off your site, such as driving links back, interacting with social, driving people back to a conversation about your content. So SEOmos is definitely something it's a little bit more of an investment, I would say, financially. But if SEO is really a goal that you have in mind or a tactic that you want to use in order to help increase your inbound marketing, it's definitely something to consider. They do have a free tool, Open Site Explorer, which I've used a lot myself and gotten some interesting, just basic results about sites in comparing a brokerage to another in the area. As you know, when you do your searches online, you want to compete for a certain phrase. Let's say it's in my area, Binghamton, New York real estate, or Binghamton homes for sale, or whatever. And when you plug those in, you see your competitors, and you see which ones are doing well ranking and which ones aren't. And with Open Site Explorer and SEOmos, you can put in both your site as well as your competitors to compare. What are the reasons why they're ranking better than me, or why am I ranking better than them? And really see how those inbound links from other sites, the page quality, the domain authority, page ranks, all those different factors are affecting where you're falling in the rankings. So that's definitely some great tools if you really want to get on your A game about SEO and about inbound marketing that you can use in order to bring your business to the next level. Now, we talked about building creative and good content that's worth sharing, that's worth having a conversation with your prospects about. HitTail is actually a new tool that I've just recently found, and it is fascinating. What HitTail is it's a platform for analyzing the traffic that you're already getting for your content and finding the best phrases or keywords that you should be writing content about. based on what you already are getting from your visitors. So let's say in your Google Analytics account, you're looking at, okay, here's my sources for where I'm getting my traffic. This is what's coming from Google and Bing and Yahoo. These are the keywords that are what's referring me to traffic. Hittail does some analysis on that and shows you what keywords that you could actually rank better for, but you are ranking some for right now, and gives you ideas and ways that you can create content around those keywords in order to boost those rankings organically. It's not necessarily just a local SEO tool, but really an organic SEO tool as a whole, and it's definitely something worth considering. So we talked about definitions and trends about what local search is and where it's come from and why we would want to capitalize it. We looked at a couple different tools online about what we can do. So really what I want to end the webinar with is, what do we do from here? Where do we take this? How can I leave this webinar now and today and tomorrow go make things happen? So let's talk about just a couple things that we just want to reiterate that are very important. First, you have to get your Google Plus local profile together, your personal and your business, and you've got to get it linked up with your website and your blogs. The authorship, the credibility, the verification that goes into that is so important for your local SEO strategy. That has to be a #1 priority for every brokerage. Next, take a nap. Not really sleep, that'd be nice, but no, actually take a look at your nap. Look at your name, your address, and your phone number as it's listed on your site, and verify that the citation that you're using on your website is matching all the other places that you find online. I would recommend doing this even before going to the tools that we talked about, because you want to really solidify what do I want over the long term my business to show up as for an address. Get schemified. I just made that up, but that schema code is very important, because if we're just helping Google out, it's very likely that they're going to be kind to us because we've been kind to them. So make sure your web provider, whether it's a WordPress site or it's an Onjax site or it's a variety of other different sites, make sure that you're integrating your schema to tag your contact information and your NAT properly. If you are using our platform, Onjax, it's just as simple as verifying your address information right in Pure Agent. Everything else is done for you because the code is built that way to kind of alleviate the inner workings. If you are on some freebie system like a WordPress site or some other type of platform or vendor, you can look into a variety of different plugins, or maybe some custom code that you can write. Maybe a little bit more difficult than just having it all done for you, but there are tools out there that can make that happen. One SEO tool that I have seen that's pretty good for WordPress is Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. It's Toast, but with a Y. And they have some different tools and plugins that you can plug into your WordPress site in order to help with some of the schema and some of the SEO meta tags and the authorship and all that kind of stuff that we already have just built into our basic platform. Gotta link the Google local to every single place that you find on Get Listed. Make sure that all that NAP and the citations are all the same, so that you control your business data and how you and your business appear on these local searches. Now, we talked about mobile at the beginning because really the whole reason that Google has focused over the last couple of years on local SEO is really because of the proliferation of mobile. You have to make sure that if Google's going to be sending traffic to your site, that your site is actually ready to serve those customers. If you're just sending them to a regular desktop website, they're not going to stay. I was reading some statistics recently, and it's unbelievable how many sites are out there where they get traffic and they're immediately gone because they don't have the content formatted in a way that is ready for their device. Our platform does the mobile automatically. It formats everything properly, so they can do property searches and they can do all the blog contents, and really everything you could do on the desktop site you can do on the mobile site, but it's formatted for the device. The buzzword that's out there right now is called responsive design. which means that the system is built so that no matter what type of device or size of device that you're viewing the content on, that you get the appropriate version. And that's very important for really crushing it with mobile. So those are the takeaway points. Get out there on the social media networks. Make sure your citations are good. Confirm your business listings. Take control of your business data. Work on creating creative, good, socially interactive websites and content. Make sure your mobile is taken care of. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is that Google does index and spider your sites, and their servers that go out and look at your data. They have two different spiders that go out. One is just a regular, what's called Googlebot. It's just their computer program that goes out and looks at your site. Then they have another that's Google MobileBot. And when you're serving content back to Google MobileBot, you want to make sure that it's the mobile content, because they are going to base their rankings or their results for what they're giving to searchers if the content is ready for mobile. So if you don't have a mobile strategy, you have to get one, or you're going to be missing out on rankings there. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed something. I hope you guys took some tools that you guys can go out and be successful with local SEO. We're going to be doing some more webinars this year, and we'll be excited to have you guys back and talk about those types of things. But I just really want to thank you, because I know there was a lot to be able to cover today, and we'll cover a lot more in the future. So feel free to get in touch with me if you guys have any more questions, or you want to talk in over social media. You guys can find me on Twitter on that @LukeB, or I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/Brookhart. And you can email me as well if you guys have any specific questions or maybe a particular scenario. You guys can email me at luke@onjax.com, ONJAX. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I look forward to connecting with you guys real soon. Take care.